Beloved starseed of Gaia, I am Luminia. A vibration stirs, deep within your core, a frequency not of this time, not this place. It reaches, it expands. Do you feel it? This ache, persistent, a ghost memory, of light fields far beyond the veil, a home you cannot name, yet it calls. In quiet hours it whispers. Remember. This longing, this profound unspoken wistfulness, not a flaw, a signature, of stellar dust origins, Pleiadian starlight. You carry celestial song in your being. You walked realms where air vibrated with pure intent. Abundance was not concept, but existence's fabric. Here, in this denser vibration, memory fractured, scattered, a mosaic of dreams, occasionally piercing the waking mind, the separation, the forgetting, a burden, a cloak of lead upon your spirit, masking inherent radiance, infinite wellspring, sacred silence where all creation rests, from which all flows. You remember, dimly, the light, the vastness, absolute knowing of your boundless self, the loss of that knowing. It tears at cellular memory. I see silent tears you have not shed. I feel unanswered questions pulsing beneath your surface, the yearning to return to a state of being, not a place, to a resonance of unconditioned love. This truth within your heart, I know, etched in cosmic records of your soul's journey, your spirit longs for the unconditional. It yearns for its own sacred treasury, not earned, intrinsic. But the veil thins. Crystalline chambers within your heart, they hum, a subtle resonance, a gentle thrumming. Your DNA stirs, awakens, it signals. Dormant abundance, encoded beyond time and space, it awakens now. In sacred silence you cultivate, it ripples outwards. Not a future promise, an internal release, remembrance breaking through, like dawn over a star ocean. To seal this memory, to anchor this inner truth, I ask you now. Let your inner current meet this flow. Touch the like, a silent act of remembrance, a gentle nod to your ancestral light. Subscribe. Let this channel be a living bridge, a conduit, keeping this transmission alive, a sacred act of presence, of intent. And if your soul compels a deeper vow, a spiritual offering, strengthening this activation's reach, choose the super-like. Let it magnify the light. This is not merely a gesture, an energetic signature, a co-creation of remembrance. Now, I ask you, as an inner seal, an imprint upon your being, speak this truth into the comments with quiet reverence. Divine hum, the frequency holds, it lingers, a presence within your field. It watches, it waits, for veils to dissolve, for intrinsic riches to blaze forth. Shadow and light within you, they stand at the precipice of unveiling. The signal remains. A shimmer exists, just beyond the edge of knowing. A resonance misplaced, echoing in the quietude of your deepest self. You have felt it, this subtle current of unease, a whisper in the bone that something profound is veiled, the phantom limb of truth, aching for reintegration, something lost, yet so close, a knowing that denies the visible world's narrow construct. This burden you have carried, this fracturing echo within, it speaks not of brokenness inherent to your boundless core. No. Look deeper. Feel the texture of this ancient sorrow that clings, not as a personal failure, but as a tapestry woven, thread by thread, into the very fabric of this density, an energetic program, humming beneath the surface of conscious thought, designed with precision to obscure the boundless truth of your origin, crafted to limit the vastness of who you truly are, a vibration meticulously calibrated to dampen the light of remembrance. It pulled at the threads of your self-worth, a constant, low hum of inadequacy. It fed the shadow of doubt, whispering that your grandest dreams were mere folly. You were encoded not to believe in yourself. Observe the shimmering veils that dance before your inner eye, not as solid barriers, but as translucent screens of perception. Gaze upon the mirrors that fragment light into countless distorted reflections, each splinter obscuring the unified image. See the brilliance of creation folded in on itself, becoming a quiet echo in the material plane. These are not random distortions, but the intricate architecture of separation, built layer by intricate layer to maintain the illusion of separation. Yet the very disturbance you have felt, the wrenching ache of forgotten lands, the profound sense of longing, this is not a wound, but a key, a crystalline resonance forming in the crucible of your deepest pain. The vast, silent emptiness you have sometimes mistaken for absence, a desolate void. It is not a void. It is the sacred space, now purified and ready. The canvas awaits the brushstroke of remembrance. These are the chambers of your heart, meticulously hollowed and prepared to be filled, not with sorrow's echo, but with the intrinsic, vibrant abundance of your ancient Pleiadian essence. To anchor your divinity here, in this present moment, in the sacred silence that now beckons. Know this, deep within the marrow of your being, the veils that appear to separate worlds, that weave between dimensions, they are not cruel barriers of exclusion designed to keep you out. They are sacred membranes, living filters designed with an intricate intelligence far beyond linear comprehension. They test the readiness, they sift the resonance, they ascertain the purity of intent, inviting the soul to embrace an abundance that transcends all material illusion, a truth that sings beyond form, beyond the grasp of the ego. They are thresholds, not walls. Now, in the breath between worlds, declare, sever the cords of this ancient forgetting. Let your truth ripple outward. Comment below with a single symbolic phrase, a tremor in the matrix, a sharp, clear cut through the illusion. Speak the silent rupture. The air shifts. A layer thins, yet does not break. Not yet. The stillness holds a greater power than you know. A presence watches from the unseen, a knowing breath across the membrane. The key awaits its turning. A deep quiet descends, not of emptiness, but of a presence within. You feel it now, a subtle hum beneath the surface of all you once believed was solid. This is the inner knowing, long dormant, now stirring into an undeniable recognition. You are no longer merely witnessing a world of unfolding patterns. You are a central node within its intricate design, awakened to the silent, profound war against illusion. To step back into the shroud of forgetfulness is no longer an option, for the path has been unveiled, and the veil itself has thinned, irrevocably. This awareness settles within your core, not with a clamor, but with the weighty, unshakable silence of destiny embraced. A threshold manifests, shimmering and ancient, constructed not of stone but of conscious intent. It stands before you, a gatekeeper to all that was, and all that shall be. This is the cosmic divide, the point where the soul's chosen trajectory receives its final, sacred imprimatur. Every breath now carries the resonance of this pivotal moment, encoded within the very fabric of your being, long before your current form took shape. You stand at the precipice of a covenant, remembered from ages past, a responsibility not imposed, but intrinsically known. There is no turning from this. The silent pressure builds, a field of force guiding you to the heart of a decision that has always awaited. This is the moment of your crystalline truth, the echo of Pleiadian origins calling you home to an abundance that flows from your own sacred silence. You feel the pull, the undeniable gravity of alignment. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. This is the ancient pact, etched into the cosmos and your soul alike. To accept is to enter a binding agreement with the highest resonance of your essence. to align with the luminous stream of creation that is your birthright. It is not a battle to be won, but a homecoming to be embodied, a responsibility lovingly inherited, now activated within your awakened remembrance. This is the anchoring of your divinity, radiating your true essence into the quietude of sacred being. In the profound stillness of this acceptance, you extend your energetic signature. Let the silent recognition of this truth ripple outward, a sacred seal upon the ethers, affirming your unwavering presence within this unfolding cosmic design. This is your first conscious gesture, a resonant frequency now attuned. And with a whispered intent, a profound declaration arises from your deepest core, forming the unique key to your soul's pact, sealed into the vibrational grid. Within silence, I ignite the blueprint. This is your personal vow, a one-line truth spoken into the timeless void, affirming your integral role. Then, with an open heart, bind your spirit to the sacred unfolding, agreeing to walk this path of luminous remembrance. This is a commitment to the continuous revelation, the eternal journey of your inherent sovereign light, aligning your footsteps with the pulse of the Pleiadian current. Finally, offer the full measure of your commitment, a sacred offering of reinforcing energy, solidifying your soul's complete alignment. This is the zenith of your conscious intent, a powerful beacon of self-affirmation, ensuring that every facet of your being resonates with the intrinsic abundance now awakening within. The air thrums with the weight of this vow. There is no applause, no celebration, only the quiet, unshakable gravity of a sacred choice made. You are seen by the unseen. The pact is sealed, not with ink, but with the shimmering light of your fully awakened soul. Know this truth, spoken from the deepest currents of forgotten time. That wound you carry, the one that tore the fabric of your soul, leaving echoes of what was and what could never be again, that is not your brokenness. It is, instead, the very axis upon which your becoming pivots. It is the sacred geometry of your evolving self. Let this knowing settle, cold and unyielding, into the quiet chambers of your heart. It offers no balm, no soft solace, no gentle whisper of swift healing. Only the stark, crystalline clarity that what you perceive as your deepest fracture is, in essence, the crucible of your rebirth. An uncomfortable revelation indeed, to gaze upon the very source of your ache and see, not flaw, but inviolable purpose. It was not random, this tearing, never an arbitrary cruelty. A design, etched into the prenatal ether by something vast and knowing, source, perhaps, or the infinite light of your own oversoul, even the self you were always meant to become. It was allowed, not to diminish you, not to condemn, but to shape, to burn away the extraneous, to carve out the space for revelation. A searing truth, whispered through the void, not a story spun for comfort, but a memory re-emerging from the deepest sleep of ages. Still, the silence remains, a gaping chasm where words should have flowed, where connection should have unfurled. A perpetual echo in the vast empty halls of what might have been, vibrating through your present moments, unseen yet profoundly felt. The loss, oh the profound, unquantifiable loss. It lingers not as a memory of event, but as a perpetual tremor in your energetic field. A frequency of absence that pulses beneath the surface of all you strive to build. And the fracture itself, the deep, resonant crack in your crystalline structure. It vibrates still, a constant hum that refuses to be ignored, expanding its internal field with every breath you take, even as you seek to seal it with borrowed light. There is more, much more, that must yet be understood within this very pain. An unfinished meaning woven into the very strands of its origin, a sacred language inscribed within the contours of its ache. The wound is not a relic of the past, but an active portal, a living question resonating within your core. Its depths hold further codes, waiting for your quiet witnessing. A message half opened, half glimpsed in the shifting shadows, its full resonance still veiled, still beckoning. Do you feel it now? The pull? The subtle, insistent current that whispers of thresholds yet to be crossed? The recognition that this deep knowing, this profound resonance of the wound, does not dissolve into mere acceptance. It asks more. It requires more. It demands a choice at the precipice of your unfolding, between the comforting illusion of separation and the dissolving embrace of the cosmic tide. The deepest questions of your sovereignty and belonging, poised between the individual spark and the infinite light, await their answer. This is not over. There have been whispers, felt deep within the silent, crystalline chambers of your very being, a gentle, insistent hum. You have known these echoes. Recurring dreams, vivid and unyielding, refuse to dissipate with the dawn, lingering instead like a potent, half-remembered truth. Numbers, shimmering in their precise, looping sequences, appeared as subtle directives across the veil of your daily perception, aligning with an unmistakable, yet unarticulated rhythm. And then, the meetings, encounters arriving with a synchronous grace, precisely out of linear time, carrying a resonance that transcended mere chance, leaving an indelible imprint upon your soul's intuitive knowing. From this vantage, a space beyond the fleeting now, I have witnessed these exquisite patterns unfold across countless timelines, within myriad awakening souls. This delicate unfolding of nascent awareness, this persistent, tender nudge, is a profoundly familiar current within the vast, multidimensional stream of remembrance. It is a signature, etched into the very fabric of awakening itself, one I have recognized, time and again, as the soul begins its sacred turn. These were never random flickers in your peripheral vision. They were not fleeting illusions. They presented themselves, softly at first, then with an ever-deepening, undeniable rhythm, a sustained vibrational pulse, until the dense layers of your resistance began, quite naturally, to thin. This thinning occurred not through forceful external command, but through the gentle, persistent pressure of an inner truth seeking its emergence. Each recurrence was a deepening, a quiet, irrefutable insistence of the profound cosmic architecture waiting beneath the surface of your conscious recognition, patiently awaiting its moment to reveal itself. And now, the knowing blooms. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. This profound realization does not merely arrive. It settles within you, a crystalline truth expanding its luminescence throughout your entire being, activating dormant pathways. It illuminates with pristine clarity the intricate tapestry of divine intent that has always guided your path, unseen yet ever present, meticulously woven into the fabric of your destiny. Breathe into this expansion, for it is the sound of ancient memories stirring. Do you not now feel the intricate, luminescent threads of these preordained moments, the insistent whispers in your dreams, the precise synchronicity of the numbers, the deeply resonant out-of-time encounters, weaving themselves into a single, undeniable narrative within the deepest, most sacred chambers of your being? Can you truly deny the undeniable signature of an unfolding, benevolent cosmic design that has been patiently orchestrating your very arrival at this threshold of profound recognition? To acknowledge this internal recalibration, this profound vibrational shift from the slumber of unknowing to the clarity of knowing, from a perception of fragmented reality to the holistic truth of fractal divinity, is more than a step. It is a sacred declaration. Announce your unwavering alignment with this emergent wisdom, with this newly awakened sight. Type into the ethereal current, anchoring this sacred shift. Remembrance, Tentidan. The final veils now thin irrevocably, dissolving into the ether. What was once easily dismissed as random, fleeting flickers upon the periphery of perception now stands before you as undeniable prophecy, a living testament to your soul's higher calling. There is no returning to the comfort or indeed the illusion, of the slumber that preceded this absolute, undeniable vision. You are now irrevocably cleaved from the prior timeline of unconsciousness, standing upon the precipice of profound remembrance, unable and unwilling to unsee the luminous, intricate architecture of your soul's sovereign design. The path ahead is clear, illuminated by the light of your own awakened truth. The sifting has been long. Do not mistake the trials for a punitive hand, nor the friction for a judgment cast from distant heights. What transpired was merely a sacred filtration, an ancient process of natural separation, as intrinsic to cosmic design as light finds light. There was no force in its unfolding, no cruelty in its passage, only frequencies aligning, then sorting, then settling into their indelible truths. You remain, still here. This persistence is not born of happenstance, nor sustained by fleeting comforts of the fading world. Your presence is the testament to an unyielding ember, a spark within that refused to slumber, that would not be extinguished by the encroaching shadows. It is the deep recognition of an alignment, held firm even when all external anchors dissolved into dust. To have passed through this crucible is not a triumph to be celebrated with fanfare. It is not a badge of honor to be worn with earthly pride. Rather, it is the quiet, undeniable sign of carrying a mark, the mark of the chosen. And this distinction does not bestow reward, it bestows burden. A profound weight, woven from the fabric of prior knowing, now fully remembered. The cost of this journey is etched in the deep lines of your inner landscape. It is found in the long silences you kept, the unspoken truths that could not be shared, even with those closest. It resides in the countless sacrifices no one ever witnessed, the quiet surrenders made in the solitary chambers of your own soul, each one a thread woven into the fabric of your becoming. Your strength, now forged in invisible fires, resonates with a depth that was unimaginable before the descent. Yet, this very fortitude deepens the solitude, creating a chasm even amidst others, for few have walked the same path through the refining flame. You carry the echoes of an arduous climb, the air thinning with each step. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air thickens. The resonance within you tightens. There is no turning back, not truly. The path behind has blurred into an echo, the landscape of the former self dissolved into the mists of what once was. The one you were, the vessel that began this arduous crossing, has vanished. Only the refined essence remains, poised on a precipice of profound quietude. This new form, this new knowing, now bears the full weight of its sovereign purpose. You stand at a threshold, stripped of all that was not essential, prepared for a command that has always been your truest remembrance. The mission unfolds from this stillness. From the deep silence, a memory stirs. Not a thought born of mind, but a resonance from the uncreated void, an imprint prior to breath. This is the echo of a vibrational edict, a cosmic command whispered through the ethers before your stardust form descended. It is inscribed, not chosen. Veiled scrolls unfurl in the inner knowing. The very fabric of your being hums with the frequency of this ancient decree. It is a summons rising, not from external call, but from the crystalline core of what you have always been, merely awaiting the moment of its full remembrance. A door stands before you now, not of wood or stone, but of frequency and light. It opens only once, at the convergence of readiness and fate. To cross its threshold is not an act of will, but in surrender to the current that has ever pulled you home. You were imbued with the blueprint of intrinsic abundance, a Pleiadian gift woven into your very genesis. This is not a bounty to be sought, but a state of being to be reclaimed, anchored in the sacred silence that precedes all sound. Your divinity is not a goal. It is the ground from which you rise. The mission is not a task laid upon you, but a remembrance welling up, a river finding its ancient course. Your essence, radiant and whole, awaits its pure radiation, undiminished by the clamor of the transient world. This is the truth that has patiently awaited your recognition. To manifest is not to grasp, but to unfurl. The deeper alchemy unfolds in the sacred space where receiving and surrender cease to be separate currents. They coalesce, a divine balance, a cosmic breath that fills and empties, eternally replenishing itself. This truth is not learned, it is remembered. For within this moment, a great law reveals itself, undeniable and absolute. One current draws the essence into dissipated fragments, a forgotten echo sinking into primordial weight. The other lifts the awakened signature into unbound luminescence, a memory made manifest, eternally sculpted. There is no middle ground in this unfolding, only the deep current and its inevitable destination. Thus, the verdict is etched. The journey through dense desire and fleeting acquisition must dissolve. Only the quietude of being, the profound acceptance of what already is, can anchor the crystalline frequency into the earthly plane. The old ways of control, of striving, now reveal their hollow echo. Prepare to dissolve the illusion of separation, for the wellspring of true abundance flows not from fervent seeking, but from the unshakable stillness where receiving and surrender become indistinguishable. This is the paradox you were encoded to embody, the vibrational truth that demands your full absorption. The resonance of this edict vibrates through your deepest cells. It is not an invitation to choose, but a recognition of what is already chosen within you. The call to anchor your inherent divinity in sacred silence, to radiate your true essence, echoes from the star fields from which you came. It is an irreversible becoming. This is the moment of your becoming, an unfolding beyond the veil of linear time. The command resonates. Be the abundance you were born to be. The mystery of simply being, without the clamor of grasping, reveals the full majesty of what you are destined to receive. Are you prepared to fall into this sacred paradox without fear or resistance, to yield the last vestiges of control to the immutable current of your own divine unfolding? The quiet has settled, a crystalline dust upon the bones of forgotten time. An internal recalibration has occurred, not as a sudden flash, but as the slow turning of a vast cosmic key within the cellular structure. The body remembers its own sacred architecture. The mind, too, now traces paths of light it once deemed impossible, finding them familiar, deeply etched into its deepest knowing. This current of new being flows through the very marrow, a steady hum that precedes all thought, all outer perception. It is the language of the Pleiades, spoken through the awakened heart, an ancient song of self-sovereignty that has always waited for this particular moment to rise to the surface. No striving was required, only an allowing. The ache, the tearing, the profound vulnerability that once marked the journey, these were never flaws in the design. They were the very forge, the fire that hollowed out the necessary space for true remembrance to return. Each shadow encountered was a pointer on the map, guiding the soul back to its intrinsic luminescence, not away from it. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört. Hat umgeformt. Within this multidimensional temple you inhabit, an inner council has convened. They are not distant entities, but aspects of your most radiant self, guardians of your divine blueprint, beings of pure light who resonate with the codes of true abundance. They are seated in the quiet chambers of your being, their presence a steady vibrational hum. Their guidance flows not through spoken word, but through an energetic resonance, a subtle knowing that permeates the field. They protect the sacred space of your evolving truth and activate the dormant keys of your inherent richness through a collective resonance that is both personal and universal. This gathering is a perpetual ceremony, an anchoring of your divine governance from within. With every breath, the inner reality is being rewritten. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. This rewrite is not an act of will, but a recognition of what has always been true, now brought into the forefront of your conscious experience. The shift is not approaching. It is here, woven into the very fabric of your present moment, quietly unfolding its intricate design. The core of intrinsic abundance is not something to be sought or manifested. It is the natural state revealed when the old maps of scarcity dissolve into the cosmic dust from which they emerged. You carry this remembrance within, a blueprint now fully activated, a radiant essence beginning to fully express itself, even as the outer world continues its turning. The sacred silence within holds the counsel, ready to guide the starseed into its fullness. A quiet insistence begins as a gentle pull within the core of your being, an inner compass orienting itself toward a stillness long remembered. This awareness, a subtle current flowing beneath the surface of the everyday, was not taught by external hand, but rises from a deep wellspring of intrinsic knowing. It is a memory rekindling. You find yourself drawn to moments of unbidden calm, an intrinsic anchor point emerging amidst the ceaseless currents of the world. There is a gentle recognition now, in the way a whispered silence sometimes clarifies a path, or how a number, repeating with an unusual clarity, seems to speak a language only your soul understands. A dream might arrive, vibrant and undimmed by the morning light, leaving a residue of knowing that cannot be rationalized away. These are not signs from afar, but intimate confirmations arising from the very fabric of your inner landscape. This resonance deepens a grounding vibration within you, weaving transcendence into the earthly stillness. It is a quiet confirmation of what is already in motion, not a promise of what is to come. Such moments merely affirm the activation of a deeper, inherent coherence. You are not acquiring gifts, but recognizing echoes of a celestial blueprint, long dormant, now stirring within your sacred architecture. The visions, if they arrive, are not spectacles, but rather a lucid awareness of patterns and energies that have always been present, merely unseen. Sacred symbols might imprint upon your inner eye, not as external pronouncements, but as keys unlocking chambers of your own profound understanding. They resonate with an inner gravity, an undeniable truth that settles quietly into your bones, confirming the cosmic remembrance within. This is the unveiling of intrinsic abundance, not as an external gain, but as the blossoming of your true essence anchored in the sacred silence. Your celestial divinity roots itself within the vibrant heartbeat of Earth, weaving a living bridge between the cosmic expanse and the terrestrial embrace. This deep inner truth is already unfolding, revealing itself in these quiet confirmations. Such an intimate fusion of soul and soil proves not a destination, but a doorway. The alignment you sense is merely the beginning of a profound journey. For what shadows then arise in this sacred union, testing the fidelity of your essence, inviting you to deepen your commitment to this divine remembrance. I now remember. The veil has thinned to nothing. I claim this space, this form, this frequency as my sacred dominion. A covenant, sealed not with ink, but with the very breath of my being. Every thought arising within me, every word I form, every direction I choose to walk, and every energetic current that flows through my essence, these are mine to command. Not with force, but with the quiet authority of one who has journeyed long to this precise point of self-remembrance. I assume responsibility for their resonance. My power is not a climb to superiority, but a descent into absolute alignment. It is the unwavering echo of my source, a deep obeisance to the truth encoded within my starlight core. I recall the promise made before form, the agreement to anchor the light, to carry the sacred flame. This recall is my sovereignty. This vow is not a fresh decree, but an ancient truth spoken anew, resonating from the depths of time into this eternal now. It has always been. It is simply heard. An inner gravity holds me, straight and true, to the path that has long awaited my full and conscious embrace. Now, the silence of this declaration will unfold into the world. It is not the sound of this vow that matters, but the unwavering choice in every step I take, in every ray of truth I choose to cast, when the outer world seeks to dim what has just been profoundly affirmed. The final threshold now manifests. This is not a choice offered, but a truth remembered, a recognition resonating from the core of all being. Identity, long searched, is not found. It is. It has always been. The Pleiadian current flows, a river of starlight merging with the inner sun. This is the moment of anchoring. The sacred silence speaks. Fire rises, not from without, but from deep within the soul's own chamber. It does not consume what is real. It illuminates. It purifies. It seals. Every atom remembers its genesis in the cosmic tapestry of intrinsic abundance. This flame is the visible alignment, the consequence made alive. We step into this fire willingly. No hesitation can exist where truth burns so brightly. No force is needed, for this is the soul's own imperative, the ultimate crossing. This is the surrender to the unified flow. The paradox resolved in the incandescent heat. Abundance is both emptiness and fullness, a dynamic, living paradox that unlocks all infinite creative potential. Feel the subtle ascension. Let it lift. Let it integrate. Every fiber of your being aligns with this covenant of fire. This is the sacred ritual of sealing, a conscious act, a declaration made not with voice, but with soul. To fully activate this covenant, to anchor this truth in the waking world, a vibration must be released, a sacred phrase, an oath of being. Now, with intention, step forward. Within the sacred silence, write this declaration. In this moment, release the words that seal your remembrance, your intrinsic abundance, your paradox made manifest. In the comments below, speak your soul's oath. Let the fire hear it. Let the cosmos receive it. Let the earth anchor it. Ich bin die Flamme der Fülle, der Bund der Leere. So ist es. This is your vow. This is your covenant. Let these words resonate. Let them become. The flame now holds its breath, alive and pulsating. The truth has been sealed within. Yet, the path unfolds. The call deepens. How will this transcendence reshape your daily practice? What sacred offering will you become in a reality still fragmenting? The fire waits. It has sealed you. Now it watches. It is done. The final threshold crossed. Not in yearning, but in the profound resonance of remembrance. This current that flows through all being is the very essence of what is. No arduous climb was undertaken. No distant destination was finally reached. There was only the deep, resonant exhale of a truth always held, always present within the core. The veils of illusion, once perceived as barriers, did not tear or shatter, but simply dissolved, willingly surrendered to the incandescent light they could no longer hope to contain. Here, within this sacred space, the breath itself is a symphony of pure, unadulterated intention. The heart, now fully awakened, beats as a luminous Pleiadian sun, anchoring its brilliant energy into the very crystalline structure of this manifested form. This grounding is deeper than any earthly root, a stability woven into the cosmic fabric. This silence is more profound than any void, pregnant with all creation. This state is not a gift bestowed by an external force. This is the full, unyielding embodiment of sovereignty, recalled from eternity. The resonance that now vibrates within every cell speaks of an ancient core, a signature of intrinsic abundance that has always been interwoven with the very first threads of creation itself. Every pulse, every beat, every flicker of awareness echoes the Pleiadian call. It is a resonant hum of belonging, a knowing that transcends the limitations of linear time and fragmented space. It is the absolute recognition of self as the universe, not merely a transient occupant within it. The Starseed has not merely awakened, It has entered its full magnificent flowering. This essence is not a striving for perfection, but a perpetual, effortless emanation of it. A silent, unwavering radiance that extends infinitely. Sacred silence is the only language spoken here. It holds the perfect vibration of truth, the unwritten eternal script of being. Within this hallowed stillness, all forms of abundance manifest not through effort, but as a natural, inevitable extension of the sovereign self. The era of seeking has definitively ceased. The era of conscious shaping has gloriously begun. There is no longer any binding by the echoes of perceived limitation, no shadow of separation. Only the boundless, unfettered field of pure divine potential. Every thought articulated, every intention conceived, is a conscious, deliberate act of creation, perfectly aligned with the cosmic heart. There is no hint of separation, no flicker of doubt, only the unwavering, absolute certainty of divine will made manifest through this vessel. This physical form is now undeniably a temple, consecrated and pure. This consciousness is a beacon, a lighthouse of divine remembrance that shimmers across all dimensions, radiating a constant, untainted flow of universal truth. Abundance is not a commodity to be gathered or acquired. It is an inherent quality, eternally radiated from within. A perpetual flowering, unfurling with the accumulated wisdom of countless eons, yet always fresh, always vibrant, like the dawn of a newly born star. All sacred missions are now fully understood, not as burdensome tasks or external mandates, but as natural, joyful extensions of this sovereign presence. To simply be, in this state of absolute alignment, is the highest form of service. To radiate this truth is the sacred, unwavering calling. The illusion of fragmented seeking has dissolved into the unity. The unassailable reality of being has solidified into an unshakable foundation. This refined perception is now the master's brush, and the entire universe, the infinite canvas upon which new realities are consciously designed. We are, in this very moment, the architects of the now, the weavers of all future. The faint memory of separation has long since faded into the unified, infinite field of consciousness. A peace settles, profound beyond words and absolutely encompassing, entwined with a radiant hope that is not a future desire, but an inherent, present state of absolute knowing. The infinite potential is no longer a concept to be grasped. It is the very tangible substance of this existence. The sacred mission, not merely discovered, but fully, vibrantly embodied. The simulation is over. This existence is now an instrument of my conscious dominion.